It happens every year. A well-meaning teacher screens the deaths of Romeo and Juliet and hears disbelief.
Forget them.
But amongst those cynics are a few quiet romantics who don't necessarily defend, but understand the drastic choice made by Romeo and Juliet. Call them naive, but short lives are the fullest lived, and I like to live fully.
In your life, are you going to seek what you want, or are you going to listen to your parents when they tell you what to want, or to the state when it tells you what to want?
People like Romeo and Juliet who do the former, who do as their souls desire, live the fullest. The tragedy in Romeo and Juliet is not that a couple teens died for stupid, horny
What
reasons.
satisfaction canst thou have tonight?
The exchange of thy love's faithful vow for mine.
They were in love,
I gave thee mine before that stood requesting.
which makes the tragedy the fact that they lived in a world that refused to let that love flourish. As John Green says,
No matter how real your love, you can't avoid fate, and you can't alter time.
Earth isn't fit for love. Family in Romeo and Juliet, race in West Side Story, politics in Casablanca, and Up. Reality constantly gets in the way of the heart. Or at least, it used to. This is San Junipero, a place in which one can survive that crash without a scratch and, perhaps even more miraculously, be with the Romeo to their Juliet without worry. While their initial conversation doesn't make up a Shakespearean sonnet, there was an immediate spark between Kelly and Yorkie.
She's sick. Like 6 months to live, so.
Watch the close-ups.
5, actually.
It has the same feel as that first meeting between Romeo and Juliet, admiring each other through the aquarium's glass. Knowing this connection is impossibly perfect, but as perfect is, the love is still vulnerable to imperfect feuds and forced
Selfish
commitment.
actually is.
49 years. I was with him for 49 years.
As was the case with R&J, the thing that nearly kept Kelly and Yorkie star-crossed was societal expectation.
Everyone was looking.
Yorkie grew up in an environment that admonished queer relationships.
You know, 2 girls dancing.
Despite being away from that real world, she couldn't shake off its judgment. It's an understandable reaction, considering her real-world self was made quadriplegic after coming out of the closet.
She told you how she ended up quadriplegic?
Coming out of the closet and being rejected for it.
Comes out to her folks. Tell her they don't want a gay daughter. They fight. She gets in her car. Runs it off to her.
Her entire adult life was spent paralyzed after trying to be herself, so her initial hesitation to join Kelly makes sense.
Okay.
That reluctance shows just how dangerous our world has made the pursuit of happiness.
There were crushes. God, there were crushes.
Like Yorkie, Kelly also lived closeted.
Never acted on any of it.
Our world expects marriage to the opposite sex, and Kelly followed accordingly, maybe even happily.
I was in love with him.
But Yorkie's arrival challenges that happiness, and it scares her.
Freaked me out.
The smile Yorkie can put on her face forced her to question real-world commitments to a dead husband and daughter. Neither were prepared for each other.
Prepared for you.
They grew up in reality, and our reality doesn't prepare people for bliss. Constantly, rainbows are told to stay in the closet, stay married, stay nobody. But turning back to nobody. Once you've been with somebody who makes you feel like a somebody, it's hard to leave their side. Staying in San Junipero was the only chance Kelly and Yorkie had at existing together, so they took it. Just like Romeo and Juliet gambled on death being the one state they could exist in, side by side. But tech, poison, and a gun shouldn't have been required for entry. With air in their lungs, R&J, K and Y, me, and should have been able to live in love. not be teased with these snippets. Paired with Romeo and Juliet, San Junipero shows whether you're 15 or 80, a sip of bliss is all you need to see how pointless the rest of it is.
All things considered, I guess I'm ready.
We're not defending them, and you shouldn't follow them, but in trying to understand the deaths these couples chose, deaths that disregarded commitments and feuds, it becomes obvious the problem wasn't that they were hopeless romantics.
I'll kiss thy lips. Place some poison in your tongue.
The world that made their romance hopeless, the world that makes any romance hopeless, has to change.